UK fans watched a victory over the Gators this afternoon and are now getting ready for tomorrow. We'll have a live report from Nashville.
Rounds of rain continue to pound the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and we have even more as we head into the overnight. Flood watch still posted for several counties. I'll have the latest.
And we'll show you one community's continued show of support after one of their officers died in the line of duty.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon to you. Amber Philpott and Sam Dick reporting a central Kentucky community is gathering around the family of an officer killed in the line of duty.
Nicholasville police officer Burke Rhodes was on his way to training in Richmond when he was killed in a crash in Garrett County. Our Victor Puente has more on how the community is lighting up the city in blue as a show of support for the officer. It's our top story at 4:30.
There are reminders across Nicholasville of the loss of Officer Rhodes. The people who live here say they hope the people who love him know how much they appreciated his service. This billboard along US 27 is one of many reminders that this community is grieving. 35-year-old Officer Burke Rhodes was killed Wednesday in a crash on 27 near the Garrett-Jessamine line. He was on his way to Richmond for training. 4 other people were hurt in that crash. At Lighthouse Baptist Church, the lights along their walk have been changed to blue. A message for Officer Rhodes adorns the billboard at a bank. And at Lowe's, the lights for all of their registers have been changed in honor of the fallen officer. Some of the people shopping here say they knew Rhodes, and they're glad to see him being remembered.
Very few times that I did meet him, he was a real nice. People would have liked him if they'd known him. And he was very proud of his kids and just seemed like a nice kid.
A memorial fund has been set up for Officer Rhodes' family. You can donate to it at Kentucky Bank on Main Street here in Nicholasville. In Jessamine County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Officer Rhodes' funeral is scheduled for Tuesday at Southland Christian Church on Harrisburg Road. Now the weather, most of the bluegrass seeing rain this afternoon, and that should continue as we head into the afternoon and into tonight.
And that is why a flood watch is out for most of our area. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking all that rain on the First Alert Defender. Hi, Jim.
And it's been coming at us, guys, since early this morning. And we got the first bands of showers close to around 10, 11 o'clock here in central Kentucky, a little earlier for other folks, but then it just kept coming. And that is what we're tracking right now on Defender. And there's plenty of it covering up the entire Commonwealth with green. We're a big blue state, but right now we are tracking all of this green everywhere you look along Interstate 64, down the Mountain Parkway, 75. It is all covered up. Now, what we can track here with Defender as we get closer to Lexington, this little stripe of darker green that goes up from Paris into Carlisle and then back down the BG Parkway, as a matter of fact. So it goes back out toward the west, and that's one of the heavier areas of precipitation have been passing through, and you can see it a little better there too as it passes through Anderson County and through parts of Woodford County. So heavier round of rain pushing through those areas. Plenty more to go. Look at all of this moisture coming together. Area of low pressure spinning very close to Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas, right along that little corridor there. That's where we're running into the area of low pressure. All the moisture being fed into this system will eventually start to move back toward this way because that low will get picked up by another system that will carry it completely through Kentucky as we head through the rest of the afternoon, evening, and especially into tomorrow. Temperatures are going to linger right around 51, 50 degrees, maybe 1 or 2 higher in certain locations. That's what the trend we'll see all evening and also into the overnight hours as well. 50s, that's it. Then tomorrow, we're back close to 60 degrees. I'll take a closer look at the positive side coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. A lot of positive going on this afternoon. The Big Blue Nation has just taken over Nashville, and today they watched as the Cats advanced to 32-0 with a win over those Florida Gators.
And UK now plays tomorrow afternoon in the SEC tournament semifinals. Our Jennifer Palumbo has reaction from fans in the Music City.
UK fans are celebrating here at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. In fact, off in the distance, he is playing My Old Kentucky Home outside Bridgestone Arena. These are some happy fans. What was it like inside there?
Oh my gosh, crazy! Big Blue Nation for sure. Love it! Go Cats!
What did you think of the game?
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. We loved every minute of it. The atmosphere was awesome. Kentucky everywhere, blue for days.
No Gators fans to be found in that stadium. Go Cats!
So as fans, what did you think of the game?
I thought they played pretty good. I thought they came out a little slow. The kids that hadn't been here, I thought they were a little stage fright. But hey, the Harrison boys and the big boys got to get tougher.
It's fun, honey. I've had the best time. It's Granny's Gone Wild this week.
Big Blue Nation took over Bridgestone Arena and they've taken over the city of Nashville, celebrating a win and looking ahead to a fun weekend that they hope will end with Kentucky winning the SEC tournament. In Nashville, I'm Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
I think that needs to be a t-shirt. Granny's Gone Wild. Well, UK will take on the winner of the LSU-Auburn game tomorrow afternoon at 1. That game will air on ESPN. 23 men and women have completed the necessary training and are now considered Lexington police officers. Former Chief Anthony Beatty was one of the proud family members in today's pinning ceremony. Now he can say he has a son in the ranks.
We ready? Yes, sir! Today is the day when a new group will go from cadet to officer. Inside, there are several proud families attending the pinning ceremony. Someone's son or daughter will now be a member of the Lexington Police Department. Now former Police Chief Anthony Beatty's son, Anthony Jr., is on the force.
So it feels pretty good to get it all over with. It's a great career, it's a long career, but it's certainly it's a worthy career. I know you know that, so we're proud of it. It's a great feeling, and certainly feel proud that my son wanted to follow in our footsteps, so to speak.
Beatty, it's a name that is respected around the city. But Anthony Jr. says he doesn't feel any extra pressure to uphold the name.
I'm just one person. I understand the name and the namesake that I carry and the importance of it here in the community. But I just feel like, that this is my calling, as I said, and I just want to do my small part.
This family has a long history in public service. His brother is in the fire department, and more than 10 other relatives are serving in other roles.
We run very deep with law enforcement, corrections, public safety, fire in our family. And again, it's just something that we feel like it's our way to give back to the community of Lexington.
He has a nephew on hand, taking it all in. Maybe he's next in line.
It's in the blood, in the Beatty genes.
In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
Congratulations to all of them. And again, that was Mike Linden reporting. Former Chief Beatty has some advice, though, for his son. He says, be the best you can, live life to the fullest, and keep faith, family, and fun at the center of everything you do. Police in Ferguson, Missouri say they have questioned some people, but no arrests have been made in the shooting of 2 officers.
Craig Boswell has the latest from Ferguson.
Ferguson police are chasing down every lead as they search for the gunman who shot 2 officers during a demonstration in front of police headquarters. Both officers are recovering at home, but the shooting Wednesday night has raised tensions in the city once again.
What do we want? Justice!
Demonstrations are ongoing here since the deadly police shooting of unarmed black teenager Michael Brown last August. The police chief resigned this week after a scathing Justice Department report, but protesters say that is not enough.
What we want is an overhaul of the system, the court system, the judicial system.
Black Lives Matter. And in that, all lives matter to me.
A peaceful candlelight vigil was held Thursday night. Police watched from a distance without riot gear.
I'm trying to de-escalate things.
With demonstrators promising to return, authorities are revising tactics. They're moving barricades closer to the street to put more distance between police and protesters. President Obama talked about the shooting of the 2 officers with late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel.
Whoever fired those shots shouldn't detract from the issue. They're criminals. They need to be arrested.
So far, 6 officials in Ferguson have resigned since the Justice Department announced it had found widespread racial bias. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Ferguson, Missouri.
Now, Michael Brown's family also released a statement condemning the police shootings.
Well, we've been showing you in all the video. Fans of the UK Wildcats have invaded Music City, turning it into a big blue city.
Rupp Arena South. Deanne Stevens caught up with some fans in Nashville. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at Rippy's on Broadway in Nashville. I'm like holding on to this wall to hold me up because everybody's it's kind of like a crowded area. I wonder why. It's full of a lot of UK blue. Check out all of our Kentucky Wildcat fans. We found a group from Tony's from Berea. You got here at 8 o'clock this morning. Been a long day so far, but you're hoping for a lot longer ones to come, right?
Yes, and we're looking for tonight, party all night after our win tonight, and the rest of the weekend, spend a late Sunday afternoon and just have a great time.
Do you even go to the game?
Yes, of course.
Well, I mean, there's so many people here who don't ever step foot into Bridgestone, but they would never miss a party in Nashville.
Exactly. We'll either come to Nashville, wherever the Cats are at is where we'll go, whether we can get in the game or not.
Okay, and speaking of wherever the Cats are at, that's where they go. Check out this young man right here. Familiar face we see climbing up and down Rupp Arena. You wouldn't miss it for the world, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
Now, are you going to be dancing all weekend and cheering on the Cats?
I do my dancing all the time.
Debbie and Leanna here, you guys have been here a couple days now. Absolutely. Big celebration. Nobody would miss like a party in Nashville, but much less when the Cats are playing.
Absolutely. We won't miss a weekend in Nashville if we can help it.
And do you go to the game?
I'm sorry, I did not. I just partied on Broadway all day.
That seems to be really the key as to what people are doing. Leanna, game or not?
No game today.
No game, but still here to celebrate on Broadway in Nashville. Now, we're going to have a lot more coming up on KYT. All kinds of activities happening here in Nashville as we cheer on our Kentucky Wildcats. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
I mean, there's so many places to go down.
Oh, gosh,
it's
yeah.
like one after just dozens.
Keep moving. Go to one and then go to the next. So.
Put one foot in front of the other.
Yep.
Okay, Hollywood has news about a Frozen sequel, plus boxing champs hitting the red carpet.
Suzanne Marquez has your eye on entertainment.
The Duchess of Cambridge paid a visit to the set of Downton Abbey. Kate Middleton met with cast members including the butler, Mr. Carson, and Michelle Dockery's Lady Mary. The Duchess has been a longtime fan of the show, which just finished its 5th season.
I did some bad things.
Sean Penn stars in a new political thriller. The Gunman is set in Africa, where Penn is a military specialist on the run.
Everybody wants to kill you for something.
Penn joined his co-stars for the Los Angeles premiere. The Gunman opens nationwide March 20th.
I'm the best ever.
A new documentary takes a hard look at the world of boxing. Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson attended a special screening in New York of Champs, which investigates the highs and lows of a fighter's career. Champs opens in theaters tonight. And news from the Disney Studios in Hollywood, Star Wars Episode 8 arrives in theaters in May 2017, and a sequel to the blockbuster Frozen is in the works. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
He struck out at times, but make no mistake, Will Ferrell's latest stunt was a big hit. The comedic actor taking the field in Arizona, playing in not 1, not 2, but 5 training baseball games in one day. And as if that wasn't impressive enough, he also played every position while suiting up for those 10 teams. At one point, he even arrived at a game in a helicopter.
They say nothing's more American than grabbing a hot dog, heading to the ballpark, and watching 9 guys from the Dominican Republic make magic on the field.
He is one of my favorites. The stunt wasn't just for laughs, and an HBO special, An Epic Day on the Diamond, also helped raise money for college scholarships for cancer survivors. Memorabilia from Ferrell's multi-game day will be auctioned by Major League Baseball.
All right, Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, your days may be numbered. Martha Stewart has now entered the coffee business. The queen of all things home entertainment just opened the first Martha Stewart Cafe in New York City. 73-year-old Stewart tells People magazine the shop was inspired by her world travels and is the perfect place for a perfectly handcrafted cup of coffee or tea. The pastries are supplied by a handful of well-known chefs and bakeries like Chickalicious and Baltazar. A pastry or cup of Fancy Joe from Martha's will cost you about $5 or less. Boy, it has been putting down some rain out there today. Pretty steady all day.
And the ground still saturated, Jim, from what we've had the last week or two. So you have to expect there could be some flooding, right?
Yeah, I mean, even outside, out in front of the station right now, we're starting to see a little bit of standing water in some of the normal places that we'd see it. And you out there will also begin to see it. It's just the normal spots right now. But as this rain continues, And as you can see right there, I mean, there's plenty of it that's going to be coming our way. This is just the beginning of it. We have this little wave of energy that's sitting out toward Arkansas and Louisiana that will start pushing toward us as well, spreading even more showers throughout the entire area. That's why we have the flood watch that has been posted for all of the areas in green. We talked about these yesterday, and now we're talking about them today because that rain is still on the way. Already picking up close to an inch so far in some cases, maybe another 2 before it's all said and done.
There's a collision on the inner loop of the circle at Nicholasville Road. This one is on the exit ramp, just right off of New Circle. So we're seeing traffic delays following all the way back to about Alumni to get past Nicholasville Road right now there on the inner loop. Now back to you in the studio.
To become a WKYT Live driver and download the Waze app, go to WKYT.com. Under the News tab, click on Traffic for more information. Basketball betting, a trapped skunk, and some mean tweets. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
More than $9 billion will be wagered on the men's college basketball tournament. That is more than double the amount bet on the Super Bowl. And time filling out those brackets and following the games may lead to almost $2 billion in lost worker productivity.
All right, we can't make this stuff up, but take a look. A Minnesota man rescued a skunk that was stuck in a cup, and it was all caught on tape. Robert Colby hurried to help the underappreciated animal when he saw it struggling. He said he used an ice scraper to help it because he was afraid of getting sprayed. His newfound friend was freed and is now back in the wild. Wildlife officials say this addresses a serious issue, which is littering, and that's what can happen when you litter.
I'm glad he took care of that.
Yeah.
President Obama will be out of work, you could say, in a couple of years. Could comedy be in his future? Well, the president got plenty of laughs during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live last night. The president did one of his regular bits featured on Kimmel's show, Mean Tweet.
Is there any way we could fly Obama to some golf course halfway around the world and just leave him there? Well, RW is surfer girl. I think that's a great idea. A 30 rack of Coors Light is $23 now at Sunstop. Thanks, Obama.
It's pretty good. After the skit, the president told Kimmel, quote, "You should see what the Senate says." So he does have a sense of humor.
Yeah, and he's pretty witty at times.
He is.
He is very funny. All right.